See, we're live on YouTube. There we go. All right, everybody, we're going to convene today's meeting. It's Thursday, March 3rd at 11:32. Do I have any remarks from my co-chair, Senator Slapp?
Thanks, Representative Elliott. No, just that this is a significant day, another step in the process, legislatively speaking, for the Higher Education Committee. And I'm going to say that I'm really enjoying the bipartisan spirit with which we're working. Doesn't mean we're always going to agree on every single bill or every issue. You'll see the ones that we're going to be approving today. Some of them need a little bit more work. Some of them are ready to go. Some are going to go to other committees, et cetera. But you know, through it all, we've really had a good bipartisan working relationship, and that extends to the screening process as well. And so I think we could be a model for other committees just in how we're working well together. So wanted to say that before we get going, and I'll toss it back to you, Representative Elliott. Thank you.
Thank you, Co-Chair Slapp. Ranking Member Witkos, any comments before we begin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I will concur with the remarks of your co-chair there. It's a pleasure serving on this committee. And I would ask that when the vote's taken, they be held for like an hour, because we do have a lot of members bouncing around between committees today.
Senator, we will be holding them open for 2.
Great, thank you. That concludes my comments.
Okay. Representative Ranking Member Haynes.
Hi, everybody. Good to be here this morning and looking forward to getting started.
Okay. And Vice Chair Turco, anything from you?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have a lot of good bills on the agenda today. I'm glad we're giving them a vote. I know some we'll have to continue the work on together, but happy to do that as a team. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Representative Turco. So we're going to be doing a voice vote doing roll for every one of these items 1 through 11 today. We are not going to be doing a consent calendar, just so everybody's aware. So with that in mind, could we have a motion to, let's see, move out of committee? Is that the right terminology?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I would move JFS language SB 8 for a vote.
All right.
Concerning the unfunded pension liability portion of the fringe benefit cost for employees of the constituent units of the state system of higher education. LCO 2579.
Item number 1, moved by Senator Witkos. Do we have a second?
Second.
And it's JFS to appropriate.
I saw a few seconds. Second by Vice Chair Turco. Do we have any comments? Representative Case, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And unfortunately, I don't think I can support this year. But the thing of it is, we've always talked about the short session as a non-budget year. And this is going to be a significant number going to approach. I don't want to give it false hope, but I think we need to do this in a long session in a budget year, because our monies were done in a biannual budget. So adding things is not really what approach is doing now. They're trying to figure out the budget and how they can solidify. So that's my question. I don't know if anybody's had conversations with people in approach to see if this was amenable.
Thank you, Representative Case. Representative Haddad.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I understand the concern raised by Representative Case. I would say that my understanding of the rules, however, is that it's not a non-budget year. In fact, the proposed bills that we offer this year are limited to things with budgetary impact, right? So it's really intended to focus almost more narrowly on adjustments and necessary improvements to the budget. I serve as the subcommittee chair on appropriations for higher education. I can tell you that the governor's proposal this year includes some money to help constituent units with the portion of their fringe benefit costs that are driven by legacy costs and unfunded mandate and the unfunded long-term legacy costs. So I think it's appropriate. I frankly would like to see this committee make a strong statement that the burden that we put on our constituent units to pay off past debts is something that we should alleviate students who are paying tuition or patients who are going to getting care at the health center from having to shoulder an extra burden for. But I will also acknowledge that really this comes down to being able to identify dollars to resolve this issue. And that is a challenge that can only really be addressed in the Appropriations Committee process. And I hope that this bill can be sent from this committee to the Appropriations Committee as a statement, as a mission statement, but recognize that resolving this issue fully and completely may very well be out of reach in the near future, but we can make progress. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative. Any other comments? Madam Administrator, would you call the roll? And just want to remind everybody, please keep your cameras on and unmute yourself for the roll as well.
Okay, on Senate Bill 8, the JFS to appropriations, Representative Elliott,
Yes.
Senator Slack,
Senator Slack votes yes.
Representative Haynes.
Yes,
I need to see you on camera, please.
I'm here.
Thank you. Senator Whitcos.
Senator Whitcos votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Turco,
Representative Turco votes yes.
Senator Flexer. Representative Ackert,
Representative Ackert votes yes.
Representative Case.
Representative Case votes no.
Thank you. Representative Exum. Representative Farrar,
Representative Farrar votes yes.
Representative Haddad,
Representative Haddad votes yes.
Senator Haskell,
Senator Haskell votes yes.
Senator Lopes,
Senator Lopes votes yes.
Senator Maroney, Representative McGee,
Representative McGee votes yes.
Representative Napoli, Representative Rochelle,
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
Representative Scott,
Representative Scott votes yes.
Representative Smith,
Representative Smith votes yes.
Representative Stallworth, Representative Stallworth, you're muted. I can see you in the list.
I can see him in video, Jeannie, so you can go ahead.
Okay. Representative Vale,
Representative Vale votes no.
Representative Wood, Representative Ziogas. Okay, thank you, sir.
I do see Senator Flexer on. Who,
Senator Flexer,
Thank
Well,
you, Mr.
Senator
Chair.
Haynes?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'd like to vote yes. Senator Flexer votes yes.
thank you.
we'll move on to item number 2. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Representative Haynes. Do we have a second?
Second, Smith.
Second by Representative Smith. Do we have any discussion for item number 2, House Bill number 5030, an act concerning unemployment benefits for adjunct faculty, a JFS to the floor? Representative Vale, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I made this point yesterday in a different committee. I have an agenda in front of me, so I know what item number 2 is. But if people were to be watching this from home, following it, they're not going to have that same capability. So if I could request that when we do call out the different agenda items that we mentioned, the number and the name of the bill, if that wouldn't be too much trouble.
You got it, Representative.
That's it.
All right, thank you, Representative. Moving on to Senator Whitcos.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, I think this is a laudable goal. We're talking about part-time faculty here. And unfortunately, we know that are seeing a decrease in the amount of students that are enrolling in our colleges, in our system, both at the community college level and at our four-year institutions. And to provide something where we don't know, especially over the summer, if a course is going to be offered, where we don't have the students signing up for it. I think that paying for something that never happens is not good policy for the state of Connecticut. I think that our presidents of our individual institutions do the best job that they can to make sure that the courses that are advertised are offered. But if the students don't sign up for them, then adjustments have to be made. And the biggest cost of the driver of our college education is the labor costs. And if we're paying for something that we're not utilizing, I just don't see that as good public policy at this time. So I will be a no vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Any other comments? Seeing none, Madam Administrator, would you call the roll? As a reminder to everybody, please keep your video on and unmute yourself. And try to say your name before you vote as well, which I will also do. It helps the camera center on you to ensure that our administrator sees it.
Okay, voting on House Bill 5030, it's a JFS to the floor. Representative Elliott,
Representative Elliott says yes.
Senator Slack.
Senator Slapp votes yes.
Could you say that one more time, please? You didn't come up on my camera.
Sure. Senator Slapp votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haynes,
Representative Haynes votes no.
Senator Whitgos,
Whitcoast votes no.
Representative Turco,
Representative Turco votes yes.
Senator Flexer,
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Representative Acker,
Representative Acker votes no.
Representative Case,
Representative Case votes no.
Representative Exum, Representative Farrar,
Representative Farrar votes yes.
Representative Haddad,
Representative Haddad votes yes.
Senator Haskell,
Senator Haskell votes yes.
Senator Lopes,
Senator Lopes votes yes.
Senator Maroney, Representative McGee,
Representative McGee votes yes.
Representative Napoli,
Representative Napoli votes yes.
Representative Rochelle,
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
Representative Scott,
Representative Scott votes no.
Representative Smith,
Representative Smith votes yes.
Representative Stallworth,
Representative Stallworth votes yes.
Representative Vale,
Representative Vale votes no.
Representative Wood,
Representative Wood votes no.
Representative Ziogas. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Administrator. Moving on to item number 3, could we have a motion for House Bill number 5033, an act addressing the needs of food insecure students at public institutions of higher education? This is a JFS to the floor.
So moved.
So moved by Representative Haynes. Could we have a second?
Second.
By Representative Terry Wood. Do we have any comments? Senator Whitcoast, followed by Representative Case.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this is an absolute laudable goal that nobody should be going hungry in our state, irrespective of whether you're a student or not. But I do have some concerns with the bill. I'm going to flag it with a no vote today, and I'm hopefully this is one of those a work in progress. I did reach out to do a little bit more homework on this, and I think in speaking with our institutions, they're not set up. They don't have the training and the skill set to provide support and assistance with SNAP. That is not run by higher education generally. I mean, we have a hard enough time reaching out to kids or the students to get them enrolled in the FAFSA. The other things I have some problems with on the bill, from my understanding, is there's 2 food providers across the state of Connecticut that offer meal plans at the colleges. and that if we try to determine and tell them what they have to offer, then the prices will just go up. The one problem I do have specifically, and I'll point out that hopefully can get addressed as the bill moves along, is to allow students to do additional meal swipes through their plan. So that poses a problem where somebody can just have their friend, they're going to provide meals for them nonstop. I don't see any limits in the bill. Again, it's a laudable goal. I would like to work with whoever's bringing the bill forward to make sure it gets to a point where I can help support it, but I'm going to flag it for no vote tonight. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator. Moving on to Representative Case, followed by Representative Wood. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And same sentiments as my good Senator Whitcoast. We have a community college in our area up here where, they do the food pantry. They're a model for the food pantry, and I think that's a great thing. But serving as ranking member on Human Services, I know the process for SNAP. I mean, students who are having issues can call 211, do a coordinated access network assessment. And if they're eligible for SNAP, they can get SNAP. And when we ask questions of students in the public hearing, I mean, one student was from out of town, but he's registered to vote here in Connecticut at a college. So he's a resident of Connecticut. So he can actually apply for the SNAP, which is a federal program, but it doesn't stop him because he's separated in that case from the home household in the other state because he's now registered to vote here. So that to me just says there is avenues for them to go out and apply for this. And just a question, if the chair can help me out with this, is this just alerting the student of what they have for benefits? Or, I mean, is it something that the universities and the community college can do on their own by allowing them to know that 211 is available? Because that's what we set up 211 for. And does this have to go to a PROPS? Because 211 and SNAP benefits have to add to the budget because it has a reimbursement, but the state of Connecticut is responsible for part of that.
Thank you, Representative. I would give the floor to Representative Haddad, who is really primarily working on this bill. Representative Wood, if you wouldn't mind, Representative Haddad answering some of those questions.
Certainly.
Thank you.
I'd be happy to answer the question, but unfortunately, I was actually reading the JFS language. Could you repeat the question?
So the concern I had is, can the colleges and the higher institutions, can they actually do this now and have their students contact 211? Do we need to do all this? Because if a student, which I asked in the public hearing, registered to vote at a college here in Connecticut, they are separated from their parents. So they would have a different account and would be eligible for SNAP. Because the thing of it was, well, their parents, which I'm not sure if they can, if their students registered to vote out of their home state, can use them as a deduction. But since they are registered to vote here, they are eligible for benefits here. So they can call 211 and get a coordinated access network assessment and get benefits.
I appreciate your question, Representative Case. I would just say in response, and this is part of what I was going to say in my remarks, which I may withhold after answering your question. To my mind, the best, there are two things that are important to remember. One is that full-time students generally are not eligible for SNAP benefits. There may be, some provisions that allow for students that are independent from their parents and are legally designated so to apply for food stamps. But generally speaking, full-time students are not eligible for food stamps or for the SNAP program. The important part of this bill, one of the best parts of this bill, I think, is contained in Section 2, which does in fact try to take advantage of specific guidance provided by the SNAP program that lets students who are enrolled in certain kinds of educational programs that lead directly to employment to become eligible for SNAP. But that, of course, requires those institutions to identify those programs. And that's what Section 2 of this bill does. It requires institutions, our public institutions, to do a general assessment of their programs and to identify those programs where students might be enrolled that would meet the federal criteria for SNAP eligibility. And that leverages, and now we can leverage those federal dollars, which don't come at any additional expense to the state, and provide that and help those students, apply and receive those SNAP benefits. I'd be happy to, as this works through the process, to continue to work with, members of this committee or on the appropriations committee, because I certainly would not hold myself out as a SNAP expert. We've been working very closely with Representative Foster, who has a lot of expertise in the area of food insecurity, and I'm hopeful that we can work out, whatever concerns or issues that people might have. But I think overall, I think the piece of legislation is responsive to a very particular need for ensuring that some students, at least, are in fact eligible for SNAP benefits.
So to rebuttal to that, are our employees at these universities able to, because you have to be certified to do CAN assessments in order for DSS to accept you for SNAP benefits, and that's under my hat of ranking member of Human Services, because we are the ones who look at the dollars for SNAP. And that's so there are certified people in the state when you call 211 that will do the certification. Are these staff members at the colleges certified to do that?
Yeah, in response to that, I don't think that anyone at the colleges will eventually end up enrolling students into the SNAP program. I think that will fall to the personnel that you're referring to, and maybe a referral to 211. But what the students will need is some indication, or DSS will need some indication that the program of study that they're enrolled in at their college meets the federal requirements that would allow them to be eligible. And so that is work in Section 2 that we direct personnel at the university to work in collaboration with the Department of Social Services to identify those programs that would be an ongoing list that could be, and incidentally, Section 2 also encourages private universities, it's not a mandate, encourages private universities, independent colleges also to do that assessment, so that we can enroll many students who otherwise I think would be disqualified without that determination.
And I agree with you, Rep. Haddad, and maybe we can have a conversation of it too. But I think this is not only going to have to go to PROPS, but it's probably going to have to go to Human Services beforehand, because the SNAP program is overseen by DSS. We need to look at the eligibility there. And the simple answer for me is let the colleges know that 211 is available and have them call, because those are the people who are certified and can get the SNAP help or other help out to students who need it in our state. And I will probably flag this one. I think there's some work that can be done on it, and Rep. Haddad, I'm more than willing to sit down and chat. The SNAP is very complicated, and there's a lot of things going on out there with SNAP, especially since we've been through COVID. We did the enhanced SNAP with the federal dollars. They brought it to all of our families who have free and reduced lunch in our elementary and high school level. So there's some movement there, but I think there's some work that needs to be done with the budget on that. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative Case. Moving on to Representative Wood, followed by Representative Haddad. Go right ahead, Representative Wood.
Right. Thank you very much. And my comments align with Senator Witkos. I think that this is absolutely a laudable goal. I appreciate the work that Representative Haddad has done on this. I think we're ladling one more responsibility onto the universities and our state colleges that should be coming from within their ranks and not our pushing it onto them. I will be flagging it with a no. I look forward to how it develops as it moves on. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative. And looks like for final comments, Representative Haddad, go right ahead.
I don't know if there'll be final comments, but there'll be comments. So, again, just not to belabor the point, but again, the Department of Social Services and the folks at 211 do not have the information they need to enroll a student into the SNAP benefits if they're trying to take advantage of the specific criteria that are outlined in the federal regulations and statutes. those are that's the federal code that's cited in section 2. And so what this bill seeks to do is to have universities make that assessment in collaboration with DSS, to post it online on a website and allow students both to acknowledge that, and to understand that they may be involved in a program that leads directly to employment and therefore become eligible for SNAP benefits. And also, the good folks at DSS can reference that list to qualify students for this benefit. Without this kind of assessment, is far more likely that those students will simply get rejected for an otherwise valid SNAP application. And I think that is what we want to try to avoid. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the leadership provided by both the chairs of this committee in bringing this bill forward. And I'm certain that we can work out details as we move forward, should it emerge from this committee.
Thank you, Representative Haddad, for your work on this, and Representative Case for your thoughtful comments as well. That'll be really helpful going forward. Seeing no other hands raised, Madam Administrator, would you prepare to call the roll? And to members, could you please turn on your cameras and unmute yourselves in preparation?
We're voting on House Bill 5033, and it's a JFS to the floor. Representative Elliott.
Representative Elliott votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Slack.
Senator Slack votes yes.
Could you do that one more time, please?
Sure. Senator Slack votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haynes.
Representative Haynes votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Whitcos.
Whitcos votes no.
Thank you. Representative Turco.
Representative Turco votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Flexer.
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Ackert.
Representative Ackert votes no.
Thank you. Representative Case.
Representative Case votes no.
Thank you. Representative Exum. Representative Farrar.
Representative Farrar votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haddad.
Representative Haddad votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Haskell.
Senator Haskell votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Lopes.
Senator Lopes votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Maroney. Representative McGee.
Representative McGee votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Napoli.
Representative Napoli votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Rochelle.
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Scott.
Representative Scott votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Smith.
Representative Smith votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Stallworth. Maybe not. Okay. Representative Vale.
Representative Vale votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Wood.
Representative Wood votes no.
Thank you. Representative Ziogas. Representative Stallworth, are you back yet? No. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Administrator. Moving on to item number, where did you go? Item number 4, House Bill number 5034, an act prohibiting an institution of higher education from considering legacy preferences in the admissions process. LCO 2586. This is a JFS to the floor. Could we have a motion?
So moved, Representative Smith.
So moved by Representative Smith. Could we have a second?
Second, Senator Slapp.
Second by Senator Slapp. And we'll open to comments. Representative Ackert, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just quickly, it seems like this is only for public institutions. Is that correct, sir?
That is correct, Representative Ackert. The JFS language strips the bill of any movement toward private colleges.
Okay, thank you for that answer. And then it seems like our institutions are already not, they're already, prohibiting this. They're already not doing it. So is the bill even necessary at this point, sir?
Some of the advocates believe so, and I will leave it to Senator Haskell and Representative Turco to see if they have any responses to that. Senator Haskell, go right ahead.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mr. Chair. I'm not sure I have a great answer to the good representative's question, but I did want to remark very briefly on the bill before us and thank the chairs for bringing this forward. I think it's a tremendously important step that officially, as a matter of statute, we make sure that our public institutions of higher education, which are paid for by all taxpayers, don't give preferential treatment based on where an applicant's parents happen to go to school. I think it's really important that these institutions fulfill their role of providing upward mobility and educating all students, that you don't get a leg up just because your parents happen to meet at UConn. And with regard to the spectacular private institutions here in Connecticut, I would just say that we heard during the public hearing that they're doing more and more to recruit and support first generation college students. And I support that 100% and I applaud them for it. To be honest, though, I've yet to be convinced that a kid whose parents met at Fairfield University is more deserving in the admissions process than as compared with a kid whose parents met at night school at Norwalk Community College. I'm not sure why one kid is a better fit for Fairfield U as compared to another kid. But Mr. Chair, I hope that our private institutions will decide to do this of their own volition, as Johns Hopkins and Amherst and many other schools have done. And I stand in strong support of the bill as it would apply to public institutions. So thank you so much for raising this.
Thank you, Senator. Moving on to Representative Turco and Representative Ackert. I may have cut off additional questions, so I'm happy to loop back around to you. Okay. Representative Turco, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was very happy to hear as well that our public institutions are not currently doing this practice. I bet that's not the case for every public institution across the country, and that some may be using legacy as a preference. So I'm proud of our universities here. To Representative Ackert, there's nothing prohibiting them in statute from adopting this policy in the future. So it would, I believe it would be good for us to pass this legislation to prohibit them in the future. They could get a new administrator, new, chairman of the boards that decides to change that policy and implement legacy preferences. So it would be sending a strong message and ensuring that it doesn't happen in the future. And to our private universities, I was happy Senator Haskell mentioned to hear that many of them are working really hard to recruit first generational college students. I know some of them admitted that legacy preferences may play a role, but they didn't believe that the state should be telling them who to admit to their universities. As a former admissions counselor, I do understand that process of admissions and how universities like to have a strong say in what kind of student they like to be there on campus, and ensuring that student can do well in their classes. I would say to them, though, that although we've removed that language in this legislation today that we're JFing, we do hope that they will self-regulate that practice, move more and more away from it, and give every student a fair chance to being admitted to the university based on that student merit, their character, their overall, as an individual applying to that university, rather than, looking at legacy. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hope this passes out of committee today.
Thank you, Representative. Moving on to Representative Fail, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Personally, I don't see the need for this legislation. I think the colleges and universities have the experience, hundreds of years of experience in some cases, constantly evolving. I'm glad that the S language takes the private schools out. I think it's important that they have their own way. I'd like to put some trust in our universities. I don't feel that this has been an issue across our state. Sounds like people aren't really using it much anyways. I think this is feel-good legislation, and I will not be supporting it today. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. And Representative Ackert, I do want to move back to you very briefly in case you have any final comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I do appreciate it. Just want to thank those that weighed in this. I truly appreciate it. I look at, overall passing legislation, that generated from an issue, or if you're going to resolve something. I just think that this is a bill chasing a problem, maybe, or that we don't have one right now. So I appreciate those, that weighed in though, and I'll listen for the dialogue if there's more, but thank you again for the opportunity, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative. Seeing no other comments, Madam Administrator, would you prepare the roll? And members, would you prepare yourselves by putting on your camera and getting ready to unmute?
Okay, we're voting on House Bill 5034, and it's a JFS to the floor. Representative Elliott.
Representative Elliott votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Slapp.
Senator Slapp votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haynes.
Representative Haynes votes no.
Thank you. Senator Whitgos.
Whitcoast votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Turco.
Representative Turco votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Flexer.
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Ackert.
Representative Ackert votes no.
Thank you. Representative Case.
Representative Case votes no.
Thank you. Representative Exum. Representative Farrar.
Representative Farrar votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haddad.
Representative Haddad votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Haskell.
Senator Haskell votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Lopes.
Senator Lopes votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Maroney. Representative McGee.
Representative McGee votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Napoli.
Representative Napoli votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Rochelle.
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Scott.
Representative Scott votes no.
Thank you. Representative Smith.
Representative Smith votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Stallworth.
Representative Stallworth votes yes.
Could you do it one more time? You didn't come up on camera, please.
Okay, yes. Representative Stallworth votes yes.
Thank you, sir. Representative Bale.
Representative Bale votes no.
Thank you. Representative Wood.
Representative Wood votes no.
Thank you. Representative Ziogas. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Administrator. Moving on to item number 5. This is House Bill number 5035, an act concerning in-state tuition for veterans and eligible dependents. This is a JFS to the floor. Could we have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Representative Case. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Representative Haynes. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Administrator, would you prepare the roll? A reminder to everybody, keep your cameras on and prepare to unmute. This is for item number 5, House Bill number 5035, JFS to the floor.
Representative Elliott.
Representative Elliott votes yes.
Thank you. Representative McGee has a question, sir.
Representative McGee, is that intentional? It looks like it is not intentional.
Okay.
Madam Administrator, you can continue with the roll.
Sorry about that.
Yep.
Senator Slapp.
Senator Slapp votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haynes.
Representative Haynes votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Whitgos.
Whitcoast votes yes.
Could you say that one more time, please?
Senator Whitcoast votes yes.
There we go. Thank you, sir. Representative Turco.
Representative Turco votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Flexer.
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Ackert.
Representative Ackert votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Case.
Representative Case votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Exum. Representative Farrar.
Representative Farrar votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haddad,
Representative Haddad votes yes.
thank you. Senator Haskell,
Senator Haskell votes yes.
thank you. Senator Lopes,
Senator Lopes votes yes.
thank you. Senator Maroney. Representative McGee,
Representative McGee votes yes.
thank you. Wait a minute, we need to mute somebody. Sorry, we had some people unmuted. Okay. Representative Napoli,
Representative Napoli votes yes.
thank you. Representative Rochelle,
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
thank you. Representative Scott,
Representative Scott votes yes.
thank you. Representative Smith,
Representative Smith, the proud father of a veteran, votes yes.
thank you. Representative Stallworth,
Representative Stallworth votes yes.
thank you. Representative Bale,
Representative Bale votes yes.
thank you. Representative Wood,
Representative Wood votes yes.
thank you. Representative Ziogas. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Administrator. I've actually been telling everybody to unmute for these. Just unmute when it comes to you. I was thinking about voice vote, so I apologize, and I'll be a little bit more clear next time around. Moving on to item number 6. This is Senate Bill number 18, an act concerning various revisions to the higher education statutes. This is a JFS to the floor. Could we have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Senator Slapp. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Senator Whitghost. Do we have any comment? Seeing no hands, Madam Administrator, would you prepare the roll? Could everybody put their cameras on, but keep yourself muted until you are called? Thank you.
Sorry about that, sir, but there was some feedback on the other one.
No problem. Also, to be clear, this is for Senate Bill number 18, JFS to the floor.
Thank you. Representative Elliott,
Representative Elliott votes yes.
thank you. Senator Slapp,
Senator Slapp votes yes.
could you do that one more time, please?
Senator Slapp votes yes.
Here we go. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Representative Haynes,
Representative Haynes votes yes.
thank you. Senator Whitghost,
Senator Whitghost votes yes.
could you do that one more time, please?
Senator Whitghost votes yes.
There you are. Thank you. Representative Turco,
Representative Turco votes yes.
thank you. Senator Flexer,
Senator Flexer votes yes.
thank you. Representative Ackert,
Representative Ackert votes yes.
thank you. Representative Case,
Representative Case votes no.
thank you. Representative Exum, Representative Farrar,
Representative Farrar votes yes.
thank you. Representative Haddad,
Representative Haddad votes yes.
thank you. Senator Haskell,
Senator Haskell votes yes.
thank you. Senator Lopes,
Senator Lopes votes yes.
thank you. Senator Maroney, Representative McGee,
Representative McGee votes yes.
thank you. Representative Napoli, Representative Rochelle,
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
thank you. Representative Scott,
Representative Scott votes yes.
thank you. Representative Smith,
Representative Smith votes yes.
thank you. Representative Stallworth,
Representative Stallworth votes yes.
thank you. Representative Bale,
Representative Bale votes no.
one more time, please. I didn't see you on camera.
Representative Bale votes no.
There you are. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Representative Wood,
Representative Wood votes no.
thank you. Representative Ziogas. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Administrator. We'll move on now to item number 7. This is House Bill number 5128, an act concerning the task force established to evaluate whether to establish a post-secondary prison education office. This is a JF to the floor. Could we have a motion?
So moved, Representative Smith.
So moved by Representative Smith. Could we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Senator Whitcos. Do we have any discussion? Senator Whitcos, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just for the members' cognizance, this bill passed, I guess, last year. The task force was there, but we just couldn't constitute the membership, so they couldn't do any of their work. So we're trying just to reduce the membership on the committee so they can do their work and report back to us again. So I would urge passage. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator Whitcos, for those comments. Do we have any further discussion? Representative Wood, go right ahead.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I think this is a very important initiative. We need to do whatever we can to help those who are incarcerated be ready for the outside world. So I think this makes a lot of sense, and I hope this task force will move forward. Thank you.
Music to my ears, Representative Wood. Do we have any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Administrator, would you prepare the roll? And we're going to call the vote for House Bill number 5128. JF to the floor. Everybody, please put your cameras on and keep yourselves muted until you are called.
Representative Elliott.
Representative Elliott votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Slapp.
Senator Slapp votes yes.
One more time, please, Senator.
Senator Slapp votes yes.
There you are. Thank you, sir. Representative Haynes.
Representative Haynes votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Whitcos.
Senator Whitcos votes yes.
There you are. Thank you, sir. Representative Turco.
Representative Turco votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Flexer.
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Ackert.
Representative Ackert votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Case.
Representative Case votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Exum. Representative Farrar.
Representative Farrar votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haddad.
Representative Haddad votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Haskell.
Senator Haskell votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Lopes.
Senator Lopes votes yes.
One more time,
Yes,
please.
votes yes. I vote yes.
Thank you. Senator Maroney. Representative McGee.
Representative McGee votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Napoli.
Representative Napoli votes yes.
There you are. Thank you, sir. Representative Rochelle.
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
One more time, please.
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
You are. Thank you. Representative Scott.
Representative Scott votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Smith.
Representative Smith votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Stallworth.
Representative Stallworth votes yes. Yes.
There you are. Thank you. Representative Vale.
Representative Vale votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Wood.
Representative Wood votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Ziogas. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Administrator. We will now move on to item number 9. This is House Bill number 5130, an act concerning student loan forgiveness for nonprofit employees. This is JF to appropriations. Could we have a motion?
So moved.
Could you please say your name when you move? Just, it's hard for me to tell who's talking.
Go ahead, Senator Slapp.
So moved, Senator Slapp.
So moved by Senator Slapp. Could we have a second?
Representative Farrar seconds.
Representative Farrar seconds. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Administrator, would you prepare the roll? This is, as a reminder, for House Bill number 5130, a JF to appropriations. Could everyone ready themselves by putting their cameras on and getting ready to unmute when your name is called?
Representative Elliott.
Representative Elliott votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Slapp.
Senator Slapp votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haynes.
sorry, Representative Haynes votes no.
Thank you. Senator Whitcos.
Senator Whitcos votes no.
Thank you. Representative Turco.
Representative Turco votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Flexer.
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Acker.
Representative Ackert votes no.
Thank you. Representative Case.
Representative Case votes no.
Thank you. Representative Exum. Representative Farrar.
Representative Farrar votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haddad.
Representative Haddad votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Haskell.
Senator Haskell votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Lopes.
Senator Lopes votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Maroney. Representative McGee.
Representative McGee votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Napoli. Representative Rochelle.
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Scott.
Representative Scott votes no.
Thank you. Representative Smith.
Representative Smith votes yes.
One more time, please, sir.
Representative Smith votes yes.
There you are. Thank you. Representative Stallworth.
Representative Stallworth votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Vale.
Representative Vale votes no.
Thank you. Representative Wood.
Representative Wood votes no.
Thank you. Representative Ziogas. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
We skipped item number 8, so we went from 7 to 9. We'll now go back to item number 8. Item number 8 is House Bill number 5129, an act prohibiting institutions of higher education from inquiring about a prospective student's criminal history during the admissions process. This is a JFS to the floor. Could we have a motion?
So moved. Representative Smith.
So moved by Representative Smith. Do we have a second?
Second, Senator Slav.
Second by Senator Slapp. Do we have any discussion? Senator Whitcos, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to bring to the committee members' attention that there's nothing in the bill that precludes the disclosure, if it's required under our state statutes, for things like the sexual offender list, animal abuse registry, any of the other type of registries that we already have established in our state statutes. This is not applicable to that. And so, there's still a screening process, but this is purely for admission into the college. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator, for those comments. Do we have any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Administrator, would you prepare the roll for item number 8, House Bill number 5129, JFS to the floor?
Representative Elliott.
Representative Elliott votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Slapp.
Senator Slapp votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haynes.
Representative Haynes, excuse me, votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Whitcos.
Good afternoon, Madam Clerk. Senator Whitcos votes yes.
Thank you, sir.
Dragging on a little bit there.
Representative Turco.
Representative Turco votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Flexer.
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Acker.
Representative Ackert votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Case.
Representative Case votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Exum. Representative Farrar.
Representative Farrar votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haddad.
Representative Haddad votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Haskell.
Senator Haskell votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Lopes.
Senator Lopes votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Maroney. Representative McGee.
Representative McGee votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Napoli.
Representative Napoli votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Rochelle.
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
One more time, please.
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
There you are. Thank you. Representative Scott,
Representative Scott votes yes.
thank you. Representative Smith,
Representative Smith votes yes.
one more time, please, sir.
Representative Smith votes yes.
There you are. Thank you. Representative Stallworth,
Representative Stallworth votes yes.
thank you. Representative Vale,
Representative Vale votes yes.
thank you. Representative Wood,
Representative Wood votes yes.
thank you. Representative Ziogas. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Administrator. Moving on to item number 10, House Bill number 5131, an act concerning health insurance benefits for part-time faculty employed by the Connecticut State University System. This is a JF2 appropriations. Do we have a motion?
Turco, so moved.
So moved by Representative Turco. Do we have a second?
Second, Smith.
Second by Representative Smith. Do we have any discussion? Representative Case, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So reading this, so it's 90 credit hours for the preceding 10 years. And where else, I mean, I just want to ask the question, where else do we see part-time employees doing that work that are getting medical benefits through you?
Is there anyone else on the call? I think this is Representative D'Amico's bill, but I don't know if I have an answer for that. Representative Turco, go right ahead.
Yeah, I will just say, Mr. Chair, from my understanding, adjunct faculty members that teach 9 credits a semester are currently already eligible for healthcare benefits. And what happens though is that sometimes a adjunct faculty member may only be able to teach 6 credits for one semester, and then the next semester they're teaching 18 credits. So what this is trying to do is take a look back from the last 10 years and say that if they have that average of 9 credits for each semester, then they're eligible to continue receiving health care for as long as they are a current adjunct professor, no matter if one semester they only teach 3 and the next semester they teach 18, because they have that average of the number of credits as if they taught 9 for every single semester. I tried to explain that as clearly as I could, and I hope that the representative understands how that system works, because it is a little convoluted, and that's why this bill, many believe are needed to ensure adjuncts can get health care in the future.
And I agree. Well, I disagree in some of it, but doing 90 credits, so it's an average. It doesn't say average. But in my questions in the public hearing, how many of these adjunct professors are not working in the state of Connecticut? And I have not gotten that answer. I happen to know 2 myself. They're down in South Carolina. So we're going to offer somebody outside of the state who's working via Zoom an adjunct professor benefits in the state of Connecticut when they don't live here. That's my question. My concern, I should say.
Representative Turco, would you have any comments to that? Happy to open it back up to you.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Well, I will say, we do live in a virtual world now where we do have professors that teach virtually, and the colleges and universities need those professors that can do that to fill their class load. And if they are currently teaching the 9 credits a semester, they are offered state health care. So, again, this is now offering it to somebody who has earned that by teaching and those 90 credits over the 10 years, which averaged to be the 9 credits per semester.
So just to look at it a little bit differently, what if that professor, the adjunct professor, is teaching night classes but has a full-time job, but wants the state benefits because they're better than what the full-time job is during the day? Are there any look backs to see what we can do to see what else they're doing?
Representative Turco?
Okay. So through you, Mr. Chair, to the representative, it's my understanding that currently that situation still happens. Professor teaches the 9 credits. They can choose if they have a full-time employer elsewhere to have their insurance through the full-time employer or to have it through the state. They're entitled to that if they teach a minimum of 9 credits. So I believe that's just currently what the state does. And OLR may have some expertise in this that I don't. I'm just learned about this from conversations with professors through the public hearings, but I don't have extensive knowledge as maybe some others might have.
You're doing a great job for being put in the spot, Representative Turco.
And I appreciate that, Representative Turco. I know you're on the spot there, and I will flag it with a no because I know it has to go to appropriations and it's going to be a fairly large number. And I don't think it can make it through there unless there's some heavy pull with Rep. Haddad on that committee. But I'll look at it, and I'm probably gonna flag it with a no because we're not doing it anywhere else, either in the private sector or the state. If you're a part-time employee, you're not getting benefits, and this would be the first, I believe, in the state of Connecticut would be adjunct professors.
Thank you, Representative Case. We'll move on to Representative Vale, followed by Senator Whitcos.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'm a little bit befuddled. My math skills are usually pretty decent. So a calendar, a year, is that 2 semesters? Or is a year considered 1 semester and only 3 months? I always thought a year would be from September to May. Is that correct? An academic year?
Mary Beth Jesse, is that correct?
Yes, academic year refers to the fall and spring semesters.
Okay. So those are 2 semesters times 10. So that would be 18 credits per year times 10 would be 180. So by the way this is written, they'd only have to average 4.5 credits taught per semester over the last 10 years to equal that 90 credit threshold. Not 9 per semester, but 4.5, 9 per academic year, which would be teaching basically a class and a half per semester would qualify them in the aggregate. Then we could also have someone that might have taught 60 credits one year, 9 years ago, taught 30 the next year, and by the way this is written, would still qualify for full-time or benefits through this bill. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not voting no to flag this. I'm voting no for this. This bill either needs more work. The math doesn't add up to what we're trying to do here. And I don't know why we would be mandating part-time benefits in this field and not any other. I'm a strong no on this. I think there's lots of flaws in it, and I'll leave it at that.
I think teaching 60 credits in a year would be difficult to do, though. I think that would be 30 per semester, which would be 10 classes per semester.
You're right. I meant 30, and 30. So you're correct.
Okay. Either way, your point stands, Representative Vale.
Thank you.
Senator Whitcos, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to point out that we often talk, or we hear from our universities, both the Board of Regents and UConn, talk about they'd like additional funds, and one of the highest costs of their thing is the fringe benefit costs. We actually have a bill in that we voted out of this committee just today to address some of the fringe benefit costs. Now we're adding on to that. So we're exasperating the problem. And I'm okay with providing benefits, and we do, as a matter of fact, for faculty that teach more than 9 semester credit hours, as the good vice chair said. But this bill just goes way too far. We're allowing somebody to only teach 3 classes a year to be able to get state health insurance. 3 classes a year. Now, look at it if you taught 1 class during each semester, and then you taught a summer session, because it doesn't go by the length of the class. It goes by the number of credit hours that the student is receiving from that. And most oftentimes you could take a winter interim session class for a 1 month period. That counts as 3 credits. So a professor could actually, an adjunct professor could teach one spring, a 3 month class, and then just do a 1 month winter intersession and 1 month summer session. And then they're qualifying for benefits. And to me, I think that just flies in the face of not being fiscally responsible by adding additional debt onto our state university systems when they're actually asking for more money. And at some point there has to be a meeting to determine what is the direction that we want to go in the state. And I understand fully that a lot of these professors want to be able to work more, but what happens is you've got professors that are tenured that stay well into their 70s and 80s, and there's no room to move up. We're still trying to offer these, and I'm with Representative Vale, I'm a hard no. I just think this sends the wrong message. This is not something that I would constitute a work in progress. It's just something that we cannot afford as a state. And I guess enough said on that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator. Do you have any other further comments? Representative McGee, I see you raising your hand. Would you like to make a comment?
Yes, thank you, Rep. Elliott. I guess my only concern would be that this is applicable to adjunct professors outside of the state. I just remember just being a student in undergrad 6 years ago and not being eligible for benefits in the state I was in because I wasn't a resident for a certain amount of time. So that would be my only concern. I think if you receive healthcare in this state, you should be a resident. And I know that we're expanding that for, immigrants as well, but I can't support this. So I'm a no, but I would love to learn more about it.
Thank you, Representative McGee. Representative Turco.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Representative, I don't know if we're supposed to call out representatives by name. I know on the floor of the House, we're discouraged by doing that. But through you, Mr. Chair, Representative Vale mentioned the math on that being 180 credits. That's the way I see it too, that it should be 180 credits to equal out 9 credits a semester. So I'm not entirely sure why it's 90 credits instead of 180. Maybe LCO or OLR can shed some light on it if we made a mistake in the drafting there, or there was another somebody gave a policy reason. But that does seem like that should be a change there to achieve what we're trying to do. And it's from my understanding from the professors, for many of them, the adjunct professor role is a full-time job. They would like to be a tenured faculty member, but our institutions, to cut costs, have relied a lot more on adjuncts from teaching courses, especially at the community college level, than hiring full-time faculty members. And they do not get paid very well, and they put in a lot of hours and a lot of time. And when they do get to teach those 9 credits for that semester, they get state health care, and they're able to, then afford to have health care for themselves and their families. And then when they're not teaching those 9 credits, they have to go on COBRA, which OLR just sent me the numbers, and it's $1,000 a month for an individual. And if you have family, several thousands of dollars a month to have health care. And they're constantly going back and forth between teaching those 9 credits and then only teaching 3 credits and having to pay thousands a month for health care. The summers can be even more difficult. So what we're trying to do with this legislation, and it's definitely a work in progress. We already can see there's a potential issue with the number of credits, but what we're trying to do is say to these adjunct professors, thank you for your service. Thanks for everything you're doing to educate your students. We know how difficult it is for you with having health care and with the little pay that you receive, but we really need you to provide this important educational service to our students. We can't afford to hire a bunch more faculty members, and you're providing this really great service. So because you have taught for the last 10 years, and maybe, Representative Vale, it needs to be the 180 credits, but because you've taught the amount the last 10 years, that if you had taught an average of that amount at 9 credits a semester, you would have had healthcare every year for the last 10 years. We're saying going forward, for your service to continue being an adjunct professor, now you'll be able to be on the state healthcare system, regardless if one semester you teach 3 or the next semester you teach 18, as long as you continue with that average amount that's required year after year. So I think there's a way that we can fine tune this language, make that intent work, to thank the professors, keep them incentivized to continue teaching and providing education to our students, but make sure that it works with the math and the numbers, and it's fair, process for us as taxpayers as well. So I'm hoping we can JF it out of committee. There's actually a meeting I'm having later today with several of my colleagues, with the public institutions, with the comptroller's office, to take a deeper look at this, to see how we can maybe make something work. And again, we do have to have the money in the budget. So that will be another conversation and battle and appropriations. But I'm hoping we can at least move it out, continue to look at it, and see if there's a way to do more to help our adjunct professors and thank them for their service, and make sure they can afford their health care. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Turco. Representative Smith, hold on one moment. We are just having some private discussions and thinking about holding this bill so that we can make some of these corrective changes. We do have 2 more JF meetings coming up, so we do have some time to ensure that maybe we're a bit more on the same page. With that in mind, the knowledge that we are going to hold this bill, Representative Smith, followed by Representative Case.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that. I think first that Representative Turco's spot on as to the purpose and the reasons why we're looking at this bill in the first place. And if I remember correctly from the hearing, and some of the questions that we asked, in particular, the problem that arises is when, during the winter break, where an adjunct who did 9 credits in the fall has to go on COBRA for a month, and then they're teaching 9 credits in the spring. I think that's a situation where it happened, where they were on and off, sort of like on a constant basis. And so I do think that it's a worthwhile goal to try and make it a little bit easier on those families. If we could come up with some formula that would allow someone who's been doing this work for an extended period of time on a consistent basis to be able to have some surety throughout an academic year and the summer months, that they can continue their coverage without having to pay the exorbitantly high COBRA fees. Having had to look at them at once in my life, I can attest they are very, very high. Also, just a couple of observations. My whole career, I worked for private employers, and including when I was waiting tables, the private employers that I worked for offered benefits, including health insurance for part-time employees. And so I think that it's something that happens, I'm going to say commonly, at least based on my experience in private enterprise. And I would hope that we can do that with our public institutions. And then also, we all have the right, if we have a working spouse as a family, to take a look at the relative benefits that each of our employers may offer and choose which one's the better deal for us. And I think that's part of our system. So I wouldn't begrudge a professor who may have, a working spouse where there's a better deal, and to take one over the other, because I think that happens frequently, and it's just the nature of health insurance in America generally. So with that, I thank you and the screening committee for offering to take another look at this. I think that there are some concerns that have been raised that are very valid. And I wait to hear where we come out on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Smith. Again, as a reminder, we will not be voting on this bill today. Representative Case.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just something to look at when we go back and take a look at this bill. I just did a quick Google search. I was quite amazed at the salary or the hourly rate an adjunct professor makes in the state of Connecticut. The average adjunct professor makes $54 an hour and up to $118,000 a year. I put in part-time and it came down to $90,000 a year. So I'm just curious if we do the research on that and see what their salaries are and what it is and what the benefits would have to be in order to get them the medical at those rates of pay. $54 an hour seems a good rate to where we can get medical coverage. I guess we'll rework it and we'll look at it and see where it is.
Thank you, Representative Case. Quick question for us to be holding this. I think we need to have the initial mover withdraw. Is that correct, Noreen?
No, you can just say your.
Noreen, you muted yourself before you finished, but I got the gist of it. We will be holding this bill today and coming back to it at a future meeting. So with that, we'll move on to.
Point of parliamentary procedure here. I've never seen where a motion has been made and seconded for discussion and debate to have the chairs have the unilateral power to just decide to hold without some type of parliamentary procedure. So I would question the advice from us on that.
Okay, I mean, I guess to be, the people who made the motion could recall their motion. That would be fine too.
I'd rather do it that way if that's okay with the chairs.
That's not a problem at all.
Yep.
I, of course, have no idea who made the initial motion.
I have Rep. Turco made the motion and Rep. Smith did the second.
Rep. Turco, do you withdraw?
Mr. Chairman, yes, I will withdraw the motion.
And Rep. Smith, do you second the withdrawal?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I do.
Thank you, representatives. And with that, we will hold this until next meeting. Thank you, Senator Witkos, for walking us through that, and Noreen. Next, we will move on to, and last, this is item number 11, House Bill number 5163, an act addressing the needs of housing insecure students at public institutions of higher education. This is a JFS to the floor. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Senator Slabb.
So moved by Senator Slabb. Do we have a second?
Second, Representative Haddad.
Second by Representative Haddad. Do we have any comment? Seeing none, Representative Haynes, go right ahead.
I just have one question, Mr. Chair. It does require within available appropriations. So does this have to go to appropriations or can it go straight to the floor?
It can go straight to the floor, and then it'll get a price tag though still, if that's the question. I might not be answering the question though.
Nope.
Okay.
I think that's the question. Yep.
Okay. Yep. Representative Vale, followed by Representative Case.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just really quick housekeeping. I think you inadvertently said House Bill 5163, and I think you meant to say 5136 for the record.
You are absolutely correct. This is for House Bill 5136. Thank you.
Got it.
And Representative Case, followed by Representative Witkos.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And is this, so we are looking to actually do something with the housing insecurity with a dollar figure. This just is not a study to see what issues we have out there. Is that, am I reading it correctly?
Mary Beth or Jesse, could you have a comment on that?
No, this is not a study. It does require there to be a survey, but it's not strictly a study.
Thank you, Jesse.
And would OLR or OFA would they be able to tell us? I don't believe it'll get a fiscal note until it gets referred to appropriations. Is that correct? If we go to the House, I don't think we get a fiscal note.
It will get a fiscal note if it goes directly to the House, directly to the floor.
Okay, but then the chances are it would go refer to appropriations, correct?
It most
Just in
likely.
my 10 years, I see that things go to the House in a short session and they don't get to appropriations. So sometimes it's best to send things directly to appropriations because of the time factor. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Thank you, Representative. Senator Whitcos, followed by Representative Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm supportive of the concept. I'm going to vote no today because I think, we're asking in the first section of the bill to conduct a survey, which I think is important. So we have a basis to work off of, but the bill goes further than that and requires the Board of Regents and UConn to do a lot of other things that we don't even know what the survey results going to be yet. We're requiring the hiring of additional staff, training of different things. And it doesn't say based on the results of what the survey provides. It just says you're going to start doing this. And so, I would like to, hopefully when the bill moves along, that we hold off on all the mandates, if you will. And I'm going to call them unfunded mandates because us Republicans like to call these things what they are, unfunded mandates to our university systems until we know what the survey results are. I know there's probably a problem out there, but let's see how prevalent and problematic it is. And then we can come up with a plan to address it. I just think putting everything in one bill all at one time is just not the right way to move forward. Thank you, sir.
Fair point. Senator Whitcos, Representative Smith, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think this bill has really worthwhile goals. I can recall my junior year when about 3 weeks into a semester, a roommate got assigned to me who had been sleeping in a graveyard for 3 weeks because there was no housing available. So it was not necessarily a homeless student. It was somebody who just had signed up and gotten registered late and there was no housing, who actually did sleep in the graveyard for the first 3 weeks of the semester. I can also recall my own personal experience, a person or two, although it was never said, who I would, as I look back and think about it, undoubtedly were sleeping in their cars. So I do believe that there is a problem that needs to be addressed, and I'm in favor of the bill for that purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Smith. Representative Haddad, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And very briefly, I just want to speak in favor of the bill. I completely appreciate Senator Whitcos's concern about appearing like we're both dictating the collection of data and then mandating a response already. The fact that that happens within available appropriation sort of makes that not entirely true, as we know how these things work. But I understand the broader point. I would say, though, more consistent with Representative Smith's comments, it is not a mystery that many students are both housing and food insecure. That I think we know, and that's known by the university as well. The collection of additional data might provide more insight into how students fall into these situations. But I don't think that it's a question of whether or not that it is occurring. We know it's happening. I've been meeting with students now for the past 12 years, and it's simply not uncommon to meet students who maybe themselves even don't identify as homeless, but certainly are telling stories of couch surfing, sleeping in their cars and parking lots, and that sort of thing. And it's, I think that we need to treat this issue with a bit more urgency, frankly, from the legislature. We, in fact, far from being an unfunded mandate, we know that the block grants to the university are very substantial. And I think that the fiscal note, once it's produced for this report, will indicate that this is a relatively low-cost initiative, especially when measured against the size of the block grant. So I think that I'm very supportive of this idea. I'd like to see us actually make progress so that I can stop hearing stories of students living in their cars or couch surfing with friends. And so I'm strongly supportive of the legislation and hope that my colleagues will support it.
Thank you, Representative Haddad. Seeing no further hands, Madam Administrator, would you prepare the roll? And committee members, prepare yourself to take a vote. And this is for, I'm sorry, everybody, House Bill number 5136, JFS to the floor.
Representative Elliott,
Representative Elliott votes yes.
thank you. Senator Slack,
Senator Slack votes yes.
thank you. Representative Haynes,
Representative Haynes votes yes.
thank you. Senator Whitgos,
Senator Whitcos votes no.
thank you. Representative Turco,
Representative Turco votes yes.
thank you. Senator Flexer,
Senator Flexer votes yes.
thank you. Representative Ackert,
Representative Ackert votes no.
thank you. Representative Case,
Representative Case votes no.
thank you. Representative Exum, Representative Farrar,
Representative Farrar votes yes.
thank you. Representative Haddad,
Representative Haddad votes yes.
thank you. Senator Haskell,
Senator Haskell votes yes.
thank you. Senator Lopes,
Senator Lopes votes yes.
one more time, please, sir.
Senator Lopes votes yes.
There you are, thank you. Senator Maroney, Representative McGee,
Representative McGee votes yes.
thank you. Representative Napoli,
Representative Napoli votes yes.
thank you. Representative Rochelle,
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
there you are, thank you. Representative Scott,
Representative Scott votes yes.
thank you. Representative Smith,
Representative Smith votes yes.
thank you. Representative Stallworth,
Representative Stallworth votes yes.
thank you. Representative Bale,
Representative Bale votes yes.
thank you. Representative Wood,
Representative Wood votes yes.
thank you. And Representative Ziogas? Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Administrator. With that, we are at the end of our day. We will hold votes open for 2 hours. And unless there's any final comments or questions, we will adjourn. Seeing none, thank you, everybody. Again, votes will be held open for 2 hours. It's 1 o'clock now. We'll hold votes open to 3 on the dot.
So
Oh,
Jeannie,
go
you'll stay.
Chair, we'll
We'll be in
recess,
recess.
correct?
We'll recess.
Oh, yeah, Jeannie will stay on this. This Zoom will stay up.
Yeah, hang on.
Great.
Yeah, I gotta get.
We
file.
will
Okay.
recess. All right,
What? Oh, I'm sorry, Senator Representative Elliott.
we're good? We're all set?
You're all set, sir.
Cool.
Thank you. Representative Wood,
Yes, I need to vote on number 1.
Senate Bill 8. It was a
Yes,
JFS
I'm a no on that.
No, okay.
And I wanted to check my vote on number 7 because there was one we skipped.
I don't have, do you know the bill number?
Yes, it's 5128.
That 128. I have you down for a yes.
Yes, that's correct. Okay,
Okay.
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Just hang on. Let me just, while I have you, if you have 1 second, I just want to make sure that I have you for everything.
I was on for everything but the first one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yep.
And then
you're
there was
correct.
one we skipped
Yeah.
by accident and then we picked it back up again.
5131 is being held about the health insurance.
That's a hold.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
That one's being held.
Okay,
Okay. Rep.
Good.
Stallworth, you still with me?
thank
Rep.
you.
Stallworth? You're welcome, Rep. Wood. Good to see you.
Yes.
Okay, Rep. Stallworth, we're going to start with Senate Bill 8.
Yes.
You have the agenda up.
I have it right over next to me. So I'm
Okay.
good.
Senate Bill 8, it's an act concerning the unfunded pension liability portion of the fringe benefit costs for employees of the constituent units of the state system of higher education.
Yes.
Okay. Next. Okay, you got the next one. Hang on. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Next one is House Bill 5033, an act addressing the needs of food insecure students at public institutions of higher education.
Representative Stallworth votes yes.
Thank you. That's it. You're good to go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Rep Napoli, you still with me? There you are.
How are you?
So you ready?
I'm ready.
First one is Senate Bill 8. Do you need the title read to you?
I have the agenda ready for me.
Okay. Senate Bill
Okay.
8. You yes? Okay. Get you that one. Get you that. Get you for that. Get you for that. And next one I need you for is Senate Bill 18. Various revisions to higher ed statutes.
Rep Napoli votes yes.
Thank you. Let me just. Okay, next one is House Bill 5130, an act concerning student loan forgiveness for nonprofit employees.
Rep Napoli votes yes.
Thank you. And okay, you're all set, sir. Thank you.
Stay well.
McGee. Oops, you're muted.
Hello, I'm sorry. I have so many meetings going, but
Yeah.
okay.
One did you want?
The legacy preferences, the vote yes to it was in support of getting rid of it, right?
Well, wait a minute, I need to know a bill number.
Sorry, 5034.
Okay, this had substitute language.
The legacy preference language?
Yes. So if I remember from the discussion, the substitute language was taking it out, was removing the privates. If I remember the discussion on it. Do
I
you
think
have
it was,
substitute language in front of you.
I think, no, I think it was removing legacy preferences from like public institutions.
From the privates.
This was privates.
I thought they were removing it from the privates.
I thought it was public. Hold on one second.
Hang on, let me see if LCO can get back in.
Because I remember one of the senators saying private schools need to do this as well.
I've asked Noreen if she can come back, our LCO attorney, if she can come back on.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Noreen's in. Let's give her just a second.
No problem. Oh, wait, yes, public institution of higher education.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I have a question regarding Bill 5034. It's the an act prohibiting an institution of higher education from considering legacy preferences.
Okay.
Is this for public institutions or private?
The S language applies it just to the public institutions.
Okay, so this wouldn't be like private schools. This would be like for example, like a UConn or a Southern.
That's right.
Okay, so I voted yes to that, which meant that I was in support of them removing that language.
Well, yes, I mean, the substitute language was the only one that was up to JF to the floor, basically. So you weren't voting to remove the language. That was the language that they were moving forward.
Okay, so the language moving forward is, I'm sorry. I'm just for understanding. So the language moving forward is an act prohibiting an institution of higher education from considering legacy preferences and admissions processes to one public institution of higher education.
Right.
Okay, so the substitute language for that is what they've put in, what's been put in, which is the public institution of higher education. Okay, so can I actually, I voted yes to that. I would like to vote no to that.
Okay, we can change it. So on 5034, you want to vote no?
Yes.
Okay. You're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Noreen. Rep. Siogus, are you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you and I can see you.
You
More
can even
importantly-
see me.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky day for you, huh? Oh, boy.
Okay, we're gonna start with Senate Bill. Do you have the agenda in front of you and everything?
I am looking for it at the moment.
Okay,
These Zoom meetings are killing me. Just hard to get there on time sometimes.
mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna start with Senate Bill 8. An
Yeah,
act concerning the unfunded pension liability portion of the fringe benefit cost for employees of the constituents of the state system of higher education. How would you care to vote?
we're just JFing that to appropriation, right?
JFS to appropriations,
Yeah, okay, yes.
okay? Next, House Bill 5030, an act concerning unemployment benefits for adjunct faculty. That's a JFS to the floor.
And that's a no.
That's a no?
No.
Okay. House Bill 5033, an act addressing the needs of food insecure students at public institutions of higher education. That's a JFS to the floor.
And that's a yes.
Okay, thank you. And next, House Bill 5034, an act prohibiting an institution of higher education from considering legacy preferences in the admissions process. That's a JFS to the floor.
No.
And next, House Bill 5035, an act concerning in-state tuition for veterans and eligible dependents. That's a JFS to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. And next, Senate Bill 18, an act concerning various revisions to the higher education statutes. It's a JFS to the floor.
And that's a yes.
Thank you. And 5128, House Bill 5128, an act concerning the task force established to evaluate whether to establish a post-secondary prison education office. And that's a JF to the floor. We had that last year, but they had so many appointments that had to be made, they never got filled. So they've lowered the number of appointments. So hopefully they'll get filled. So that's what this one I know because I was supposed to staff the task force.
All
It never
right,
got
well,
off the
for a
ground.
task force, we'll look at, we'll say yes.
Thank you. And now House Bill 5129, an act prohibiting institutions of higher education from inquiring about a prospective student's criminal history during the admissions process. That's a JFS to the floor.
I'm going to say no.
No? Okay, thank you. And House Bill 5130, an act concerning student loan forgiveness for nonprofit employees. That's a JF to appropriations.
Yes.
Thank you. And House Bill 5136, an act addressing the needs of housing insecure students at public institutions of higher education. That's a JFS to the floor.
Wait, hang on a second. All right. Which one was it again?
5136. You're probably looking for 5131. I was going to tell you that that one's being held. They're going to
Oh, all
change.
right. Okay. That's right. I was going down the list and okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah. An act concerning the housing needs.
This is 5136.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and you're all set, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good
All
day.
right. Bye-bye.
Hi, Dee Dee.
Hi, Senator.
How are you doing today?
Doing okay. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks.
We're going to start with the fun part first.
Okay.
Number 10, House Bill 5131 was held.
Okay.
They want to make substitute language on it, okay?
Okay.
Let me get you for attendance first.
Okay.
Waffle. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
We're gonna
Hold
start.
on 1 second. Let me open my agenda. I should have opened it before.
That's okay.
Where is it?
You should have an email from me this morning with attachments with the agenda and the bills, and then a second email with the substitute language. The first email talks about a glib matrix.
Which one is this? This is the. You know what? I may have to. My internet, I guess, is slow. It's not allowing me to do. Oh no. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
You ready?
Hold on.
Okay.
I think it's. Oh no, this is the language packet. I don't want that. I want just the agenda so I can look through.
Would you want me to put the agenda up on the screen?
Yeah.
Oh
you know
no,
what?
I'd have to have your face on camera to vote. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do, because my email is being. Well, here I'm just gonna go to the CGA website and pull up the agenda from there. For some my email, it won't open it. So. Okay.
Okay, we're going to start with Senate Bill 8, an act concerning the unfunded pension liability portion of the fringe benefit costs for employees of the constituent units of the state system of higher education. How would you care to vote?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And next, we're going to go to House Bill 5030, an act concerning unemployment benefits for adjunct faculty, JFS to the floor. How would you care to vote?
Yes.
Thank you. And next, we're going to go to House Bill 5033, an act addressing the needs of food insecure students at public institutions of higher education, JFS to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. And next, House Bill 5034, an act prohibiting an institution of higher education from considering legacy preferences in the admission process, JFS to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. And House Bill 5035, an act concerning in-state tuition for veterans and eligible dependents.
Yes.
Thank you. And Senate Bill 18, an act concerning various revisions to the higher education statutes. JFS floor.
Yes.
Thank you. House Bill 5128, an act concerning the task force established to evaluate whether to establish a post-secondary prison education office, JF to the floor. We did that last year, but they had so many appointments, they couldn't get everybody appointed. So this year they're cutting down the number of appointments. So if it
Okay.
sounds familiar, that's why.
Yeah, that's a task force. Yeah.
Thank you. And House Bill 5129, an act prohibiting institutions of higher education from inquiring about a prospective student's criminal history during the admission process. That's a JFS to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. And 5130, an act concerning student loan forgiveness for nonprofit employees, JF2 appropriations.
Yes.
Thank you. And the 5131, that's being held. We're going to do some work on it for another meeting.
Okay.
So next, we're going to do 5136, an act addressing the needs of housing insecure students at public institutions of higher education, JFS to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. You're all set. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Judy. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Representative, you're muted.
I'm sorry, I know that by now. Hi, Jeannie, how are you?
How are you?
Good, oh, doing okay, thank you. I just
Have
wanted,
the agenda up? Do you have the agenda up? And I'm going to read through the bills.
I don't have it in front of me. Okay. Sorry, let's see. Okay. Getting that up.
Okay, you ready? Nope.
I'm ready.
Okay.
We can go through.
We're going to start with Senate Bill 8, an act concerning the unfunded pension liability portion of the fringe benefit costs for employees of constituent units of the state system of higher education. It's a JFS to appropriations.
Yes.
Thank you. And next, we're going to have House Bill 5030, an act concerning unemployment benefits for adjunct faculty. This is a JFS to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. And next, House Bill 5033, an act addressing the needs of food insecure students at public institutions of higher education, JFS to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. And House Bill 5034, an act prohibiting an institution of higher education from considering legacy preferences in the admissions process. This is a JFS to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. And House Bill 5035, an act concerning in-state tuition for veterans and eligible dependents. This is a JFS to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. And now Senate Bill 18, an act concerning various revisions to the higher education statutes. This is a JFS to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. And House Bill 5128, an act concerning the task force established to evaluate whether to establish a post-secondary prison education office. This is a JF to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. And House Bill 5129, an act prohibiting institutions of higher education from inquiring about a prospective student's criminal history during the admissions process. It's a JFS to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. And House Bill 5130, an act concerning student loan forgiveness for nonprofit employees. This is a JF to appropriations.
Yes.
Thank you. And then on the agenda, there's House Bill 5131, an act concerning health insurance benefits for part-time faculty employed by the Connecticut State University System. That's being held to work on language.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So the next one is that you're going to vote on is House Bill 5136, an act addressing the needs of housing insecure students at public institutions of higher education, and that's a JFS to the floor.
Yes.
Thank you, and you're all set.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you very
appreciate it.
much.
Take care.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.